extroverts are too loud and overly enthusiastic. These are misconceptions, words, and phrases that we all hear today. But do we really know what the true definitions of these personality traits are? Displayed on the screen are 8 different personality traits. If you can see, and if you compare extrovert and introvert, there are no words that say antisocial or overly enthusiastic. Instead, when you compare them, you will see that extroverts attain their energy from being in the presence of others, and introverts recharge by being alone or in a more secluded area and environment. Now, fast forward 10 years from now, we will all have different careers, but despite what our careers will be, we will all have to interact with others. There will be disagreements and there will be times of conflict resolution. The reason for this is because we all have different personality types. During my senior year of high school, I became really interested in the field of psychology, and I completed a research project based on personality types and the MBTI model. By understanding the fundamentals of the MBTI model, you will be able to understand your own personality type, as well as learn about the other 16 personality types there are according to the MBTI model. First, I will be providing background information on what the MBTI is. Then I will provide explanations about the possible combinations there are. And lastly, I will explain how you will be able to use this in your near future. I'd like to start off by asking, does anyone know what the MBTI model is or have ever heard of this? No? Or that's okay, that's what I'm here for. The MBTI model stands for Myers-Briggs, the Myers-Briggs Test Indicator. And its main purpose is to determine one's personality based on their potentials and their preferences. The creators of this theory were Isabel Briggs Myers on the left and her mother, Catherine Briggs, on the right. In 2013, Creative View, published in New York, authored by Otto Kroger, an expert in the MBTI model, and David Goldstein, a researcher, claims that 3 million people use this personality test. Also, according to the Model Briggs Foundation, a company with 72 years of experience and dedicated to the founders of this test and the MBTI model, last accessed in January of 2016, it is understood that types are representations of one's preferences and potentials. It's online. You can find this test online, and its format is going to look like this. It will be reference based. So you'll be able to choose on a scale of from very inaccurate to very accurate, and you would just bubble in how you feel about these certain questions. This theory was inspired by Carl G. Jung's theory, and it was based on his book, Psychological Types. And Isabel and her mother, Catherine Briggs, devoted their lives to redefine or to go more in depth about what the word personality actually means, because Carl Jung's theories were very complex, and it was too complex for everybody to understand. So these two people devoted their lives to explain further and go more in depth with this. Now that you have a better understanding of what the MBTI model is and how it's created, let's look at the possible combinations there are. There are four sets of personality, as you can see on the right. Each set contains 2 different traits. Okay, and the different sets are extroversion and introversion, sensing and intuition, judging and perceiving, and thinking and feeling. Each letter correlates to its own personality type, such as E for extroversion and I for introversion. There are a possible of 16 combinations because there are 8 sets and 2 per set. Dr. David J. Pittenger, chair of the Department of Psychology at Marietta College, explains in a 1993 article that the 4 sets of personality are as follows. Extroversion and introversion measures one's preferences in the environment. Sensing and intuition depends on how one perceives the world. Thinking and feeling is how one would process information. And judging and perceiving is how one would resolve conflict and go about a situation. Now it's time to ask yourself, what's the point of understanding our own personality, and how will we be able to use this in our future, or our everyday lives for that matter? The results that you get from taking the test, the results will give you will determine a four-letter combination for you, depending on what your results are. And one of the categories is talking about your potential careers. So based on what you answered, it will give you careers that pertain most to your personality, and it will give you a better understanding of how you will react to certain situations and certain careers in life. Another category that you can choose to learn more about your own personality type are relationships and compatibility with other personalities. Now, that is not to say that you will definitely not be able to be compatible with this type of personality, or you will be very compatible with this personality. It's just a rough estimation of what you may or may not be compatible or incompatible with. Now that we've discussed what the test indicates and we have a better understanding about the different personality types we can actually be, I hope that you learn more about yourself, and I hope you can tell that you would understand why people may be incompatible with each other. I've discussed the different types and the four-letter combinations, and I also informed you about how to interpret your personality. So just remember, when you have a conflict with someone else, it's not you, it's not them, it's personality. Thank you.